Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Ro. Today we are going to be talking about how you can take back control in your life. I apologize for my voice. I am sick. I'm getting over the cold, so it's a little bit croaky. I have 12 things to talk about today. These are mainly just boundaries that you put for yourself to make you feel better. Sometimes your mental health suffers because you don't take control of things that you can. So these, I guess, I came up with because there's certain things that I tried in the last couple of years that have really helped me mentally and also just made me feel a lot better with myself and for myself, because I feel like I'm more in control with what I want to do and what I don't want to do and what is benefiting me. So I thought that I would talk about these things today with you guys and share some tips that really helped improve my life and improve just the way that I feel. So I hope you guys enjoy this. The number one thing I want to talk about today is turning off your phone notifications. Now, I know a lot of us are very addicted to our phones. It's become a thing that everybody suffers from. I feel like every time I get on any kind of public transport or whenever I see someone by themselves, they tend to be on their phones, and it's just part of our life now. I think that it's become so normalized, and it kind of, the internet and your phone can be a good thing, but sometimes it can get to a point where it's toxic. So I did find that by turning off my notifications, I felt like I had control of when I wanted to go on the phone and when I wanted to use it. I wasn't getting distracted while I was doing something else. There are a few exceptions. So for me, I turned off notifications for all of my social media. The only thing that I did keep on was my Messenger and my WhatsApp, because those are just texting alternatives. So those notifications I left on because they're important and I feel like people need to get in contact with you. So those two parts of the phone I left on, but in regards to things like Instagram, Twitter, basically those are the only two that I was using at the time. I turned off my notifications and I only logged in when I wanted to, and I would see messages obviously or notifications in the app, but it was nice to know that I had that control and that I was able to go onto my app and decide when I wanted to go on there. So I also turned off all my online status. So on Instagram, it tells people when they're active or not. I turned that off because I don't want that pressure of having to message someone back straight away if you're not ready. Same with like the scene receipts on anything I turned off. And yes, when you turn yours off, that means you can't see the other person's as well, which I think is good. It's a good thing because I do think that that causes a lot of stress and a lot of anxiety if you're waiting for someone to respond and you see that that person has seen the message. So that really helped take back control of my mental health and really, really helped me. So I think that that's probably my number one tip for you guys, is to turn off your notifications. You won't miss anything, I promise, and you will feel so much better. I swear to you. The second tip I have is to wait 24 hours before buying anything. So if you go to the mall and you see something that you like, if you're not completely obsessed with it at that point and you're kind of tossing up between whether buying it is going to be beneficial for you or not, I'd say you wait 24 hours. You can always purchase it online, or you can just purchase it and pick it up from the store. So I think that waiting 24 hours really helps. Sometimes you realize you don't really need that product, and you often tend to forget about that product as well. There's been so many times where I've gone online shopping and I've put things in my cart and I've waited those 24 hours and I have totally forgotten about those products. I will say some websites do send you messages to remind you that your cart is still there. So that's kind of a bit annoying because it's distracting you from the whole purpose of waiting for the 24 hours. So if you do see those, just delete the email, forget about it. In my life, I have purchased a lot of products that I probably didn't need because I impulse shopped, especially on websites like Amazon, and especially when you watch YouTube videos. That's probably the biggest thing for me. When I've been watching YouTube videos, I get really inspired to buy things from YouTubers who tell you about this hair product or this makeup product, or you know, this new clothing line, or the new stuff that's come out at Zara. And it's funny because normally on a day-to-day basis I probably wouldn't even think about shopping at Zara, but because I've seen this video and I've seen this like really beautiful pink blazer, I want to go and buy it. But do I really need it? And it's very hard to take that self-control back. But once you kind of pick up on the fact that you're doing that, it's a lot easier to stop and say, look, I really like it. I'm gonna wait and see if I really want to get it. And I definitely think the 24 hours wait is perfect, because sometimes you realize you don't want something and there's no regrets. Whereas if you impulse shop, then what are you gonna do? The amount of clothes and the amount of stuff that I have bought online that I've never used, or that I've bought because I was inspired by somebody else and I just didn't really make use of it as much as I should have, I regret. I end up having to donate it, and there goes, you know, $60, $100, $200, and it's just a lot of money that you're wasting. The third thing is to unsubscribe to newsletters. I know that it's very enticing to subscribe to a newsletter because they promise to give you a percentage discount off your first order, which is nice. I've done it before. There are other ways you can get coupons online. You can Google and search for discount codes, so you don't need to do the whole, you know, signing up to a newsletter to do that. And also newsletters, you get, you know, bombarded in your emails with emails from these companies telling you about sales and telling you about things that you probably wouldn't have even thought on your own to purchase, but because it's in your face and you see it, you want to go and buy stuff. Even if I know I'm going onto the Sephora website, or if I'm going onto Boohoo and I want one specific thing, I end up kind of going through all the pages and looking at what's new and what else I can purchase and put into my cart, because I feel like if I'm going to buy this one thing and I'm going to pay the shipping cost, I may as well buy more. And that's how they get you. They say, you know, usually websites will say if you spend $100 you get free shipping, and so that kind of gets you to buy more. But at the same time, if you're buying something for $40 and you're paying $10 shipping, that's $50, and you're not spending $100 just to get free shipping. Do you know what I mean? I think I'm going off topic, but by unsubscribing to newsletters, you don't get bombarded by all these emails telling you about sales and things that you normally wouldn't have purchased, so you're saving money there as well, and you're not cluttering up your house or your room. A couple of these actually help you save money too, so there's a bonus there. So fourth, I really highly suggest you get a full 8 hours sleep. I know this isn't always going to be the case. I need to take this advice myself because I'm not very good at having my full 8 hours sleep. I am trying to get back into the habit of that. I keep hearing from different sources 6, 7, 8 hours. I think it depends on the person, but I do think 8 hours is the pretty standard amount that you see being advised to take. So I think having your 8 hours sleep really does benefit you in so many ways. It benefits you with your age, it gives you better skin, your hormones are a little bit more balanced. It just is an all around really good thing to have. And it also helps with weight, because obviously if you stay up later, you'll get hungry and you eat when you're not supposed to, etc. So it really helps with being healthy in general. So I definitely think that having a good 8 hours sleep is really important. If you cannot, for some reason, cannot have your 8 hours and you have time during the day to take a nap to make up for that, I highly also suggest taking a nap. It really does refresh you and it really does give you an extra energy boost. I never used to know how to take naps, but I learnt slowly and now I find them so beneficial for me. Okay, so 5, I think that washing your face every day and every night is beneficial for you in so many ways. Obviously, with aging, with better skin, making your skin feel more youthful, feel more vibrant, have more of a glow. It's very, very important, especially moisturizing. I think that that is probably the most underrated part of face cleansing. And by moisturizing, I mean you can use a moisturizer or a sunscreen. I think sunscreen is probably the better option here because you're protecting your skin at the same time. And it's really changed my life since I've started using sunscreen. I feel like my skin's just more youthful. I feel like more vibrant. It's just really good for you health-wise, and I think that it is definitely something that you should implement in your everyday routines. So 6, I want to talk about having me time. It is so important to have me time, and I believe that to do this, sometimes you have to sacrifice other things. I think you need to learn to say no as a default setting. That is what this point is really about. Learning to say no as a default. I think we're all kind of wired to say yes to things and yes to people because we want to make sure that we're not being rude and we're being very unselfish. But I do think that that's a misconception. I think that it's so important to do things that will benefit you. Obviously, you can have fun and you can go to parties and you can go to, a friend's wedding and things like that. That doesn't really necessarily benefit you. I guess it kind of does because you're having some sort of social interaction with people, which is also very important. But I also do think that you should be able to say no to things that you're not 100% committed to do because it doesn't necessarily benefit you. It also stresses you out. You're going to go and do this thing and you're not going to be happy, and you're going to be spending your own time on this, and it's going to just waste it for you, and you're going to feel like you did nothing. And I definitely think that we should normalize saying no and it being an okay thing. If you don't want to go somewhere, you're able to say no without having to feel guilty, because I feel like we are kind of programmed to say yes to everything to please people, but then we're kind of letting ourselves down sometimes. At number 7, I have study. This doesn't necessarily mean you have to go to university or a college to get a degree or anything like that. What I mean by this is it's super important to learn and to grow in things that you're interested in and you love. If you want to reach a certain goal, make sure that you make some certain steps to get there. It's all well and good and nice to have a goal in mind at the end of the day, but there's no point of having a goal if you don't have a process of how to get there. And I have found it so beneficial for me personally to study online. I use the app Udemy to do that. I did a nutrition course and I got a accredited diploma with my nutrition course, and I've learned so much through just doing that. It is all online, and I did pay out of my own pocket, but it's actually pretty affordable. I think that I found a discount code online and I only paid like $25 or something for the course, which was I think initially $190 or something like that. So it was an insane discount. So you can definitely do things like this, and it's just so beneficial, especially for growth, like I said, and especially if you want to learn and grow in an area that you're interested in. I'm very interested in the fitness and health area because I really want to learn how to take care of my own body. I want to learn what I'm eating and just make sure that I'm healthy. I also have a fitness study that I need to get through. I have a makeup course that I need to get through. I think paid for a YouTube course just to kind of learn the basics of like the analytics behind the whole YouTube system. So highly recommend that you look into things that you're interested in, because there is so much now out there that you can learn from, and you don't need to necessarily go to university or a college to be able to get these benefits. And the same goes with reading. So I guess reading and learning kind of go in the same area, hand in hand, but I highly recommend that you study something that helps you reach the goals that you are wanting to reach. At 8, I have journaling. I guess this can be notebooks or an app. I tend to have a little bit of both. I have a notebook where I kind of just have free thoughts. It's not really journaling, I guess, but it's more me just dumping information that's in my brain down onto a piece of paper. The one that I have, I made myself. It's this one. It's called The Book of Random Crap. I just made it myself, and it has Megan Fox and Machine Gun Kelly. I love them. And in there, I just write all my ideas and thoughts and whatever comes to my head. A lot of the time I write a lot of my YouTube ideas in here, and then I flesh them out on in a different book that's specifically for my YouTube. Sometimes you've got all these thoughts, it's not good to keep them there. It's nice to kind of flesh things out and de-stress yourself from overthinking. It's really, really good to have a sort of journal or notebook. So mine, of course, is a notebook, but I also do use apps. So I have Trello for organizing my ideas, and yeah, there's just so many great ways to do this, and I highly recommend getting all your thoughts out, even if it's just journaling as a diary. I used to use Twitter for that. I had my own account where I didn't follow anyone, nobody followed me, and it was just me kind of just talking to nobody, because sometimes I just wanted to get things out, and I don't necessarily need anybody's opinion in return. It was just kind of like a way to release, things from my head. Good way of de-stressing yourself as well. At 9, I have exercise or do some form of movement with your body. This to me has been life-changing. I used to see exercise as this chore. I used to think that you had to do like an hour full of cardio to, I guess, like lose weight, because that was, I guess, my goal back then when I was looking at exercise that way. But now I see exercise in such a different way. It is so important to move your body because it really helps with your energy levels. I highly recommend exercise for mental health. Like for me, that is the best thing for my mental health. I feel like I said, in control. I'm in control of something. And doing it first thing in the morning, I was not a morning person, but now I go at 5:30 in the morning, which is super early, or 6 o'clock, depending. And I get it out of the way, I get it done, and I feel so energized for the rest of the day. And I feel like I've accomplished something, which is really, really nice. And so I highly recommend doing that. But also, it's really great for a self-confidence boost as well. I feel so much better in my skin. I don't feel self-conscious because I'm doing something, It's not really got anything to do with like weight loss or anything like that. Obviously, those are benefits that come from doing that. But once you have exercise in your routine, you'll know what I mean. It just makes you feel so alive. And I just think that it's probably the best thing that I've done for myself in the last couple of years, and I enjoy doing it. You don't have to do an hour's full of cardio. You know what I mean? That's what my mentality used to be like. But now, you can do 5 minutes on the treadmill, you can do some weightlifting, and then you're done and you feel great. Of course, while you're doing it, it is a strain on your body. So it is hard, but once you're done, you just feel so accomplished, and it's so nice. At 10, I have let go of toxic relationships. This one, I guess, is pretty self-explanatory, and it's an obvious one. You should do this. I think that it's just very difficult to do this when you've grown with this person for so long, and it's very hard to cut ties. But honestly, once you realize your own worth and you realize what you deserve, it's very easy to cut people off that are not benefiting you in a positive way. And I don't mean this in a really mean kind of way of like cutting people off because you don't like one thing about them. I mean, by toxic, I mean people who are really bringing you down, who are not supporting you, who are kind of actually being the opposite and discouraging you from doing things that you really want to do. People who are making fun of what you want to do in your dreams. People like that you don't need in your corner, and you should cut them off. It's easier said than done, obviously, and it is harder to do when it's like family members. That's definitely very difficult, but you can cut down time with them, which I guess really will help you out. Definitely just focus on yourself and the people around you that bring you up and don't tear you down. It, like I said, is a lot easier said than done, but just maybe with what I'm saying here is that you sit down and you think about that, and you think about the people in your life and try to figure out who really is there to support you and lift you up. And maybe this is just a bit of a trigger for you to be able to figure that out. So I thought I would mention that anyway. At 11, I have save your time and energy for things that matter. This kind of goes with the point that I said before about saying no as a default. I definitely think that spending your time and energy on what you love is the most important. Whether it's really doing anything for you or not is your decision. For example, someone else might think that me spending 2 hours reading a book is not beneficial and not doing anything for me. But honestly, for me personally, it is. It's growing my vocabulary. It's making me better at my own grammar. I'm learning new things from reading, especially nonfiction. But if I'm reading fiction, it takes, imagination and creativity, and you're using your brain to really bring this book to life. And I think that that is a beautiful thing, and I think that it is beneficial for me, and for people that read, they will understand that it's very beneficial. And so whatever you want to do and whatever you think is beneficial for you shouldn't be a debate with somebody else. It should be something that you're interested in and you want to do, and it is good for you. In saying that, there are things that we think are good for us or we feel good doing, but they're not necessarily good for us mentally. So that's another thing that I think is good to sit down and take note of, the things that you do on a day-to-day basis that you may like doing but are actually not beneficial and not good for you. So I just thought that this is a really important point, and I think it's really important to be able to separate those two things. For example, I love watching films and TV, but I'm not going to spend my entire day sitting there watching TV, because it's not going to really help me, and it's probably going to make me feel drained. And also, because I'm not doing anything else, I've not accomplished anything that day. And I think that it's important to love what you do and love what you love, but in the right amounts as well. So that is another point that I wanted to bring up, and I guess another tip that I wanted to give you guys. And the last thing I wanted to mention is let go of what you can't control. That is something that's also in your control. You shouldn't stress or worry about something that you cannot do anything about. There is no point. It is going to stress you out. It is going to give you anxiety. Your mental health will suffer because of it. And this, I think, kind of goes with the fact that some people have very strong opinions and they want to argue with somebody who has a different opinion, and they go at it for hours and hours and hours, and you've just wasted your own time and energy. Another point that I already mentioned, but you need to just let it go. You need to know who you are, what you believe, what you want, what you like, and if others don't agree with that, if others don't like the same things you do or whatever, it's just better to let it go and just continue doing your thing, because you're going to be a lot happier that way. You're going to feel more in control with your life that way. You're not going to be able to make everybody the same as you. Everybody is completely different, and that's okay. Learn to accept the differences in other people as well, even if you don't agree with it. I think that once you do all those things, you will feel a lot more confident in yourself and a lot more at peace with your life. So that is it for the video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. This was more of a sit down video again, where I wanted to share with you some tips that have really helped me take control of my life. I hope, again, this has made sense to you guys. I hope that these tips and points really assist you in your lives, and let me know down below if you want to see more of these kinds of videos. I really love doing these and giving advice. It's really something I'm passionate about. So if you have any ideas of anything that you want me to do, please leave it down in the comments below. Thank you again so much for watching my video. I really appreciate it, and if you like this, please like the video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel. It really helps with my YouTube growth, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.